Welcome to the Upside Up Podcast. On this episode,
me and my girlfriend Alyssa and I were celebrating our 2-year anniversary.
Get to 4 years.
Okay, well, I hope to do so. I think it turned out really nicely.
I didn't help with it.
No, you didn't.
Sorry. You didn't ask me.
I didn't ask you. It's okay. It's okay, buddy.
How did you do it?
I set the keys down in the seat. You have got to be kidding me. Of all days, my 2-year anniversary, this is driving me nuts.
What would have been stupid would have been breaking the window.
I thought about it. I didn't think about it very long.
and now, here's your host, Jeremy Neas and Garrett Horn.
Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening. Welcome to the Upside Up Podcast. My name is Jeremy, and I'm joined by the bearded baller himself, Garrett Horn. How's it going, my friend?
Bearded baller. I like it.
You like that?
I am a baller.
That's right. On and off the court. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. How are you doing, Mr. Jeremy? I haven't talked to you in a long time.
I know.
That's not true.
Yeah, it's a big lie. I'm doing well. It's just the two of us today on the show, but we've got what looks to be a fun episode for you today. So what do you say we get started?
Well, Caleb's here.
Well, he is here, yes, but someone's always here.
He's waving at you guys.
Wave back, everybody.
He's pretty upset that Jeremy kind of ignored him being here.
Yeah, he's seething.
Yeah, turning red.
Yeah. All right, today on the show, I'm going to tell an interesting story from my life that happened recently, and if it's anything like the Steven story, well, then that could be entertaining. I don't think it's anything like the Steven story. Then we'll have the Clash of the Wits. Garrett and I are going to do something fun. We're going to kind of write a letter to our past self, as it were, without writing. And then we'll answer some listener questions. We'll have the best advice in the world. But before we begin, it is time for the Upside Up headlines. We, first of all, want to address the change in our intro. I hope everyone has enjoyed that. The feedback that we have gotten from that has been great, so we appreciate that. We do want to address the fact that Katie did not actually write the additional music that was added to that. That was poor planning on our part. When I was listening to the episode back, I thought that might be confusing. She did not write that. Not that I don't think she can write something as good as that or better. Yeah, exactly. But that was just some royalty-free music we got offline. So I hope everyone's enjoying that, and we're enjoying the changes to the show. Over to you, Garrett.
Yeah, we just want to thank Katie for a great episode last time. It's gotten it's gotten a lot of feedback. It's been a pretty big hit, and she's a pretty talented musician, and it was very interesting to hear her talk about it. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thank you, Garrett. And then we've also got a YouTube video coming out hopefully soon. We're excited about that process. That is still in the works, so be looking for that. Trust me, you will know when that comes out. And that's your headlines. All right, so we're going to talk about an interesting story from my life, I think. It happened not too long ago, about a month ago. A little bit of background for it. We were me and my girlfriend Alyssa and I were celebrating our 2-year anniversary. We started dating on February 17th, 2015, and we were celebrating that. So a little random plug here.
Get to 4 years.
Okay, well, I hope to do so. But we were celebrating that, and I've been thinking, what am I going to do for a gift for her? There's a lot of things running through my mind. Do I want to go jewelry? It's got to be special, 2-year anniversary. I want it to be special. So I decided, with a little help from my brother-in-law Caleb, that we were going to make a swing for her. And you've seen the swing.
Very good swing.
I'm quite proud of the swing. A lot of people helped me with it, but I think it turned out really nicely.
I didn't help with it.
No, you didn't.
Sorry. You didn't ask me.
I didn't ask you. It's okay. It's okay, buddy. So I had been preparing the swing since Christmas time. I've been getting plans. I've been looking at woods and all this kind of stuff. And anyway, we got it built. And leading up to the day that I was going to unveil it to her, it was a Friday, February 17th of this year. And I had asked off a day. Wow. Yeah, I asked off a year in advance. No, I asked off a that I could leave an hour earlier because with it being February, it was going to get dark about the time I would get off, and so I wanted to be able to show it to her in the daylight. So it was okay with my boss and everything for me to leave at 4 instead of 5. And so the day before, we went and we hung the swing, me and Mr. Lance, Alyssa's dad, and got everything ready. So I'm super excited. I put the cushion in the back seat of my car, or actually in the trunk, and so I'm all excited about it. I get off at 4 o'clock, long 8-hour day or whatever, and I head out to my car, tell everyone goodbye. I get out there, and this requires a little bit of backstory too. At the job I work at, it can be kind of nasty. You wouldn't think that at a bookstore, but the boxes that come off the UPS trucks and that kind of stuff, they've got a bunch of dirt on them oftentimes, and so it will get on my shirts oftentimes. So I decided to bring an extra shirt to change into, nice date and everything. I made reservations for this date
for this dirt
for dinner. I can't talk, but made reservations. So I wanted to dress nicely. So I had a shirt waiting on me in the car to change into. And as I'm walking out to my car, I'm thinking, do I want to change in the building, or do I just want to jump in the back seat and change it right quick? I had garments under my clothes or whatever, so it wasn't horribly indecent or anything. But I was just trying to figure out how I wanted to do it. I decided I'll just jump in the back seat of my car. So I get out of my car and jump in the back seat, and I tried to jump in the back seat, but I reached for the handle, and it's locked. And I'm like, oh, I forgot to unlock the door. And I look, and the driver's side is locked.
Oh, no.
And my keys aren't in my pocket. They're in the passenger seat. I'm like, Jeremy, you did not just do this. I'm on a time crunch. I'm trying to get to Alyssa to show her this and then to get to our reservations. I'm super excited about it. And I just left my keys in there. The ironic thing is that a customer came that day and locked their keys in their car in a Ford Taurus.
Wow.
Weird.
Bad day for those cars.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
How did you do it?
I set the keys down in the seat, and I was like, I need to jump in the back seat. And I opened my door and habitually just locked it, because that's usually how I get out of my car, is I lock the door right before I close it. Didn't even think about it. Yeah.
Wrong answer.
Wrong answer indeed. So I'm like, what am I going to do now? My first thing is, okay, I need somebody to unlock this. No, I don't want to pay anyone. Okay, how do I get in this myself? So we're looking around for a wire hanger. We get some wire from a fly swatter. Mr. Herbert grabbed the mallet off of the fly swatter and threw it in the trash and untwisted it and gave it to me. And so I'm like, this should work. There was a little separation in the seal of the door. I think somebody had actually either tried to break in it before I had it or something.
Wow.
I don't know what happened, but it's got a bent place. And so I was like, I can just, finagle this in there and unlock the door. Well, I make a little loop in the wire, and I get it actually on the thing, on the, I don't know what you call that, little post that indicates whether it's unlocked or locked. And I tried to pull it up, but I can't get it tight enough on there, enough leverage to actually pull it up. So I'm like, well, that's not going to work. So I'm starting to lose patience. I call Alyssa, and I'm like, I locked my keys out of my car. I'm trying to get there. I'm really, really sorry. We'll figure it out. Just bear with me a little bit.
She mad?
She actually wasn't. She was really cool about it the whole time. But, yeah, I didn't think she would be either. She's pretty understanding about that kind of thing. But I'm mad at myself. I'm really frustrated. So Miss Carrie comes out, and she's like, that's a coworker, and she goes, I've seen people do this, and she's showing me to put it in between the window and the seal of the door, and there's apparently some sort of bar or something that you latch onto and you pull it up. I've never done this, never heard of it, and so I'm going in there blindly, and I'm working on it, and it's just not working. I can't make anything work with it. So I call my dad, and I'm like, I locked my keys out of my car, and he's trying to work out something so I can make it to a date or whatever. I'm just kind of frustrated because I really want to open it, and if you remember, the cushion for the swing is in the trunk of my car. So part of her gift's in there, plus my deodorant. Man, I probably don't smell very good.
Yeah.
So I'm just frustrated, and so I'm on the phone with him. I said I want to keep working on this for a little bit. I've got an idea. So what I decided to do is I was going to see if I could find a pin and attach the wire to it somehow with either twisting it on or taping it, and see if I could shove that in and hit the unlock button on the door. So I'm like, that might work. So I'm looking around for a pin, and I look at this one pin holder, and there is this toy in there that is a wooden dowel rod type thing. And on the end of it is a plastic hand that's making a pointing motion. It's like a teacher's aid thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's perfect as long as that's hard on the end. And I feel it, and it's hard plastic. I'm like, yes, this will work. I can't believe this thing's going to save the day. And so I tape it to it, and I make the tape too thick. And so now I have to go in because I can't get it through the door. And so now I have to go in and untape it. Now I'm starting to really lose patience. And I call Alyssa. I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to get in this. I'm really frustrated. And she said later she could tell I was like really, really frustrated at this point. And we retape it, and I get it in the door. I have a picture of my phone of it in there, and it's literally 1.5 inches or 2 inches away from the button.
Oh,
like it is right there, but I can't get any farther. The wire is too short, and it's too flimsy, and I can't hit it. And so I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Of all days, my 2-year anniversary, this is driving me nuts. So this lady comes out into the parking lot, and she's headed home, and she works at the art studio there on the square. And she goes, you lock yourself out of your car? And I was like, yes, ma'am. And she goes, did you try this? Did you try that? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Tried that. Can't get to work. Can't get to work. Yes, all the doors are locked. I checked. And she goes, well, we might have some wire inside. I work at the art studio. Let me try that. I'm like, okay, well, thank you.
So how long is this going on?
Okay, so I get out there at 4 o'clock. It's about 4:45 at this point.
Oh.
I'm bleeding from my hands from the wires. I've cut myself.
Oh, my.
And I'm so aggravated. She runs in to help with that. I talked to Miss Carey, and she's like, have you thought about, getting a locksmith? I was like, I have, but you see, the problem is of how expensive they are. And I told her about how much I would imagine they cost. And she's like, yeah, I guess so. So that lady still hasn't come out of the art studio. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to call Alyssa and my dad and have them. Dad offered to bring me a car with my mom, so I have a vehicle. It wouldn't be the date I had imagined and planned, but we'll make it work the best we can. And so Mr. Lance drove Alyssa to Athens, and my dad brought the car, or was bringing the car with my mom as well, bringing the van. So he had a vehicle to go back. A very inconvenient thing about this is that my key to unlock the store the next morning, I work on Saturdays, and I have the key to unlock it on Saturdays. It's in there on my key ring. So now I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow for work, and I'm just seething. I'm just so irritated. And I go out there to work on it some more as I wait for everyone to come. Alyssa's mom texted me and said, do you want us to move the swing? I forgot to mention this. The swing, we set it up at her grandparents' house so she wouldn't see it, and we were going to take her... I was going to pick her up and take her there. We were going to show her the swing, and then Mr. Lance was going to come with a trailer. We were going to load it up, and Alyssa and I were going to go to our dinner, our reservations. I made reservations at 6 o'clock. So
it's like 4:45.
Yeah. I'm on a time crunch now. And now it's just to make the reservations. And I'm working out there, working on it. I'm like, I've basically given up in my mind, but I'm still trying stuff. And I look over out of the corner of my eye at the traffic going on. And I kind of think in the back of my mind, I was like, it's kind of weird, I'll be honest, that someone hasn't seen me out here, because it's a pretty empty parking lot at this point. Cars going by. It's kind of weird that no one has stopped just because we're in the heart of Dixie. Not that I expect them and that they should. Yeah. But it's just kind of weird that hasn't happened. Yeah. And right after I finish that thought, I look over on Green Street, and there's this orange truck coming down. And as it gets past the store, I see Ted's Lock and Key. I'm like, that's a locksmith. And I watched the vehicle, and it turns in the parking lot I'm at. And my immediate thought is Miss Carrie.
She called the locksmith for you.
Miss Carrie called the locksmith. And part of me is like, that is one of the nicest things. Part of me is going, I cannot believe she did that. That is, it almost makes me mad. It was so nice. You know? And he turns in, gets out of his car, and he goes, having some trouble? And I said, yes, sir. And I go, did a lady call you? And he goes, no one called me.
Huh.
I was like, no one called you? He was like, no one called me. At first I thought he was lying to me. And I was like, wow, no one called me. And I look, and this little boy jumps out of the vehicle. I'm like, that's weird. And I see this woman 2 cars down from me. The backstory to what had actually happened was that this gentleman, I don't know if he's Ted, but the locksmith, comes to that parking lot to drop off his son to the mother who works at the bank at the same intersection I do, 2 cars down from me, and just so happened to be a locksmith. And he unlocks my car right as Mr. Lance and Alyssa are pulling up. My parents hadn't gotten there yet. He just unlocks my car, and I was like, I cannot believe that just happened. You know, I was like, this is going to be an awesome story. That's one of the things popping through my head, because I mean that just doesn't happen. Someone just done with that kind of expertise just show up at your doorstep.
He didn't make you pay?
I shoved a $20 bill down his esophagus and he wouldn't take it. No, like I forced it to him, and I was like, I remember thinking, it's like, if I say insist, then he'll have to take it, and he wouldn't take it. I insisted like 3 times, and he wouldn't take the money. He would not let me pay. Just the kindness in his heart. But I just thought that was so cool that someone took the time to help me, as well as the coincidence of that being right there. Like, that's so crazy to me. So yeah, so that was right around 5 o'clock. Alyssa and I jump in my car a little while after that and head to Huntsville, where we had reservations. It was actually at Bravo and Bridge Street, so it was Bravo. It was a little bit of a drive, so but we were able to make it there right on time, and we had a great date. And then I took her home and I showed her the swing with the cushion in the swing, and she just was like super ecstatic. So it ended up really working out really well. I have a scar a little bit where the wire cut me, but it worked out really well. But I guess a lesson to myself thinking back on it, I don't know how I wouldn't, but I don't need to get quite that frustrated about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, listener, I don't know if you've ever lost your keys out of your car, but it's such a helpless state because your transportation's right in front of you. You just cannot physically get in it. And I will admit, I did think about breaking the window once. But I was like, that's not what I need to do.
I've locked my keys in a car once when the car was actually running. I still don't know how that happened.
That's impressive.
I don't know how it happened.
When was that?
It was at church one Sunday. It was when Lauren used to drive a Jeep, and I pulled it up to, I guess I might have been picking up my mom when she broke her foot or something like that. Anyway, I pulled it up at church for that underpass thing, and I got out, and I tried to open the door, and it was locked, and I couldn't get in. Huh. And we did call a locksmith, but we actually got it unlocked before he got there.
How'd you unlock it? Stick a wire down?
I think David Falk stuck a wire down there and got it.
I need to learn how to do that. That's a very valuable skill. I tried to watch a YouTube video when I was doing it, but I couldn't focus on it because I was too irritated. Yeah. But so maybe not get so irritated. And if I'm in an opportunity where I can help someone, especially if I have the knowledge and expertise, the equipment, I definitely need to help
some
someone.
Quick physical therapy.
That's right. Physical therapy.
Lay it on the side of the road. Here, man. Here's some physical therapy for you.
That's right. Do some arm flexion. That's right. But yeah, that's the time that I locked my keys in my car, and maybe you can relate. It was one of those things. Oh, I completely forgot to mention this. The car, when I got it, only came with one key and a key fob. And so when I called my dad, the first thing he said is, yeah, I was thinking the other day we needed to get you another key. I was like, that really just doesn't help me right now.
It makes it worse.
Yeah, first of all, I really wish you had mentioned that to me. Not that I probably would have gotten a key.
Yeah.
Just because of, life and whatnot. But I don't know. Don't get so frustrated, Jeremy. I guess that's the lesson. But things worked out really well, and that's another lesson is when plans go awry, I mean, you get a cool story out of it, and, things usually work out all right. So
for the best.
That is right. So any closing remarks from that?
No. Sounds like something that might happen to me, but it hasn't happened to me.
Yeah. I've been scared of locking my keys in my car multiple times because there's only the one key. And I've just never done it. And then in this one moment of stupidity, I
what would have been stupid would have been breaking the window.
I thought about it. I didn't think about it very long. But I mentioned to a coworker, I was like, I was telling the story, and this individual goes, just break the window. And I was like, it crossed my mind, but it was a very small moment in time. It was a nanosecond.
I mean, what were you going to do? Drive to the date with your broken window?
Like the window in the seat, I thought for a second, I could just break the window. No, that's not a good idea. So that's how my mind works. Anyway.
Could you get in through the trunk?
I thought about that too, and no. I mean, I didn't have any key. I mean, there was no physical way to get in. My dad goes, we could get a key fob, or we need to get another key fob. I was like, yeah, but we have to program it. He's like, yeah, that's right. I was like, I was so frustrated, but it worked out well, and everyone was really helpful and kind to me about it. Dad was really trying to help me out of the situation. I was just, I don't know. I really wanted to try to get out of the situation on my own without anybody's help, and that didn't work out.
It did.
No, it didn't.
You beat it.
Someone had to help me.
Well, but it wasn't your dad.
So?
Well, I thought that's what you were saying.
No, I was trying to do it on my own. I locked him in there. I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Breaking
the window was the way to do that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It was an option. Okay, so now it is time for the Clash of the Wits. Steven won last week and is winning 6-3, so let's see how it goes this week. Let's start with Justin.
What do you call a deer with no eyes? No idea.
That's pretty funny.
That's a Justin joke.
Yeah, it is a Justin joke. I like his little one-liners, to be honest with you.
And I like his accent he did it with.
Yeah.
Or was that an accent?
What
do you call a one-eyed deer?
I think it was an accent, but very good, Justin. All right, Stephen, what do you have?
With St. Patrick's Day upon us, perhaps a joke concerning the Irish. What would you call an Irishman who bounces off the walls? Rick O'Shea.
Oh my.
That was horrible.
That was pretty bad, Mr. Steven.
The accent, magnificent.
Yeah, the accent was on point, but the joke was a little lacking this week.
I would agree. I think Justin won.
Justin wins.
All right, fans. If you think otherwise, be sure to let us know and sway us the other way. But I think that Justin won this week. Why do I always do that?
Yeah.
Almost every single episode, I mix them up.
Come on, dude.
I don't know. Forgive me. All right, so on the second segment of the show, we wanted to. We had this idea to kind of talk about a letter to our younger self. What would we tell our younger self from what we know now about our lives? I didn't want to put a specific age on it, but because neither of us have really lived that long. We haven't lived that long. We really haven't experienced that much. But I thought that there might be some interesting things that we could share, and things that we could share with the younger generation. Maybe something they could learn from it. So this segment's kind of inspired by the song "Letter to Me" by Brad Paisley. I'm not going to condone every lyric that's in the song, but most of it is quite good, and it's very interesting to me. Just makes me think every time I hear it. So, Garrett, what would you say?
I would say that to my younger self, especially my high school days, to not worry so much about what people think about you.
Right.
To be yourself. And I really mean that. That sounds cliche.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. And in high school, I'm not saying those memories mean a lot to me, and I'm glad I know the people that I do from high school, but I don't talk to a lot of them anymore.
Right.
And even if I did, I mean, I would be myself around them. I wouldn't try to be something that I'm not.
Yeah,
so,
something different.
Yeah, I would be myself, not worry about what they think, and because you people don't really know you if you're not yourself. You're what you try to act like what you think they want you to be.
Right. Kind of going back to what we talked about with first impressions.
Yeah.
A few episodes back. Yeah, I think that's really good. I didn't have that specific one down. Something in reference to high school. This may be a little controversial. So parents, if you disagree, I'm sorry. But the ACT, at least in my experience, the ACT is an absolute joke. And I don't mean that to say do not try to get a good score on it, because there's definitely a lot of benefit of getting a good score on it. I did not get a very good score on it. Doesn't mean that I'm not smart, no. But when I took the test, I remember the 2 times I took the test, the night before, that is possibly the most nervous I have ever been in my life. It's up there,
Man.
At least. I could not sleep very well at all before it, which may have contributed to bad scores, but those were just so nerve-wracking to me. I hated it. And now I'm in college, and while I did not go to a prestigious college, and yes, I did have to pay, out of pocket. I didn't get a scholarship for my ACT scores. I'm doing just fine in school, and I don't mean that I'm like squeaking by. Like, I'm doing well. I got into a hard program, and I think that at that age, when you're in high school, so much emphasis is put on your grades and your ACT scores and your SAT scores and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. There's value to that, but at least to my younger self, just don't sweat it that much. It just wasn't worth it to me.
Well, I think it's important, like if you need a scholarship or something,
Right.
But in the long run, if you don't do great on it, doesn't mean that you're not going to have a good career, make good grades in college.
Doesn't even mean that you're not smart.
Yeah, some people just aren't good test takers. I had a little bit above average, but not anything amazing score.
Right.
So,
Yeah, mine was good enough, and I just went with it kind of from there. One thing along with that I might say is, especially my younger self, but even now, being in this program and the stresses that I have in a difficult program with a lot of high stress situations, my anxiety is something that I struggle with a lot. And if I could write a letter to my younger self, especially leading up to college, I would tell myself that those things that you're nervous about, they work out just fine.
Yeah.
And you're going to be just fine.
well, that's another thing is when bad things happen, it generally almost always works out.
I know,
So-
isn't that weird? How
Yeah.
I don't know if that's we adapt or things just aren't that bad, or maybe we're just really privileged. I don't know, but I don't know. My anxiety is just something I've battled with all my life, and especially the things I was worried about when I was younger. Like, there's just no value in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
To worry about those things. What's another one you have?
Well, I would say similar to your ACT score is do your best in high school, but it's not the end of the world. I'm not giving bad advice. You need to do your best.
Absolutely.
And I didn't always do my best. I'll just be honest in high school, but like I feel like even though I didn't do my best in high school, I was still able to go and graduate college and get a good job.
Right.
And so I would just say that if you're struggling in high school, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
So
Yeah. Some of that could sound bad, and neither one of us are trying to say that high school doesn't matter, the ACT doesn't matter. That's not all what we mean. But as we've lived a little bit, it's just some things that I guess we both kind of realize that are more important than the other. College is one of those things, like these are the things they look at now. They don't really look back to the high school.
Yeah.
But if you are in that age group of high school and leading up to high school, I'm very serious when I say this. Absolutely try your best. And that is one thing that I might conversely tell my younger self. I didn't try very hard in high school, and that's something that I wish that I had. I could have maybe gotten scholarships and that kind of stuff. If I had the work ethic I had in college, that I have in college, that I did in high school,
exactly,
it would have been so much better.
I was about to say, if I had learned some better habits in high school, maybe I would be farther along now.
Right.
So I'm not diminishing that the importance of doing your best. I'm just saying if you are struggling in high school or haven't done your best today, it's not too late. It's not the end of the world.
Absolutely, it's not too late. Start now. Start today. That's what I would say. it makes me think of Micah Clem. He has a YouTube channel, and on that channel he said about making resolutions. A lot of people wait until New Year's to start them, but start today. Start your resolutions today.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think that's interesting. I would say, when I was thinking about this, I was like, maybe I should say to my younger self before I was working at CEI, when you work at CEI, put those books for Stephen in your car. But then I was also thinking, that's an interesting story. It was a life learning experience, so I probably wouldn't write that to myself, but I thought I should mention it.
Yeah.
There's a line in here in the song. It says, P.S. Go hug Aunt Rita every chance you get. Every chance you can, excuse me. And that was something, when I read that, I kind of thought of you and your aunt that you lost to cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought maybe you could relate to that. And I haven't lost anyone close to me in my life up to this point, but maybe it's a lesson to myself right now to go hug the people that are important to you.
Yeah, I think I've actually thought about that before with her.
Yeah.
I mean, I was close to her, but think of times that you didn't see her and stuff, and you could have had that time and you don't. So I would say to make sure you hug everyone you're close to as much as you can.
Yeah. Make sure that they know they're special to you. Maybe not hug even, just
high five.
Yeah, fist bump. That's what I was going for. No. Okay, there's another line in the show that says, in the song, that says, all I can say is pain like that is fast and it's rare. And it's talking about kind of the relationship pain. It says in the song, let's see here, when you break up after 7 months, that kind of thing. And I've gone through times like that in my life where you got some pretty intense pain and you kind of wonder how you can continue with your life, that kind of thing. And I might concur with the song and write to myself, pain like that, it is fast and it is rare. Like you don't have that very often, and I hope you don't have that. And I might tell myself, you haven't had that often in your life. That's kind of a one-time thing. And they also mention in the song, he talks about finding the woman that he has, whatever, and that kind of makes me think of how I'm blessed right now with Alyssa, and I'm sure you think the same thing with Amber.
Well, duh.
Will do. But very special people to us, and I might would write my younger self about that. But I've thought a little bit off topic. I don't know if I had written to myself and said, this is somebody you're gonna date and means so much to you, and it's someone I knew at that point. I wonder how that would change things.
It is weird to think about.
Would that mean would I make a fool of myself or go after that too soon? The timing has to work out. Anyway, kind of off topic there. On the topic of friends, I might mention that Caleb, my brother-in-law, when he came into the family, I really didn't think of him much as a brother, but at this point, absolutely, I couldn't ask for a better brother. And so I would write to myself before they got married that this individual is going to be somebody that's you think very highly of and very important in your life, and even helps you out with the podcast. So how about that? I'd also write to myself, Garrett isn't the guy that you couldn't stand as a kid. I think we've talked about this on the show.
Have we talked about this on the show?
We may not have, but you and I did not get along whatsoever as kids, and It was kind of stupid. It was all surrounded by football, I think. But Garrett ends up being one of your absolute best friends, and that'd be quite the surprise for me to read as a 10-year-old or whatever. I'm like, Garrett is going to be one of my best friends. Like, I don't want to live this life. No, man.
Oh my.
Do you have any other ones that you thought of?
No, that was the main couple that I had thought about.
Right.
But
well, one that I think that you'll relate to very highly is, I might think of someone that you and I were both close to that has forsaken the Lord, and I got to work with him before he did that, and I think I would tell myself that individual isn't what you think, and that you need to help him, and you might could save a soul. So on a very sober note, I think that's something that I would say to to my younger self.
I agree.
So we could spend a lot more time on that topic, but those were just some things that I had thought about and Garrett had thought about. So I didn't mean to talk the whole time, but
That was a good segment.
I like
Reminiscing.
Yeah, I like to think about that kind of thing. Great song. If you haven't heard the song, like I said, there was a couple lines in the song that I wouldn't condone, but it's a really great song. So I would go listen to that if you have the time. All right, let's answer some listener questions. My mom, Rhonda Nias, she asked, if you had to move somewhere in the USA other than Alabama, where would you move? Where would you move, Garrett?
Why do I have to move?
Because my mommy said so.
Okay. I guess maybe Tennessee. They've got the Smoky Mountains up there.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be too far from Alabama.
I understand.
Maybe Florida.
Yeah.
Because it's got beaches and Disney World.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a cool place. I might go to North Carolina. I like North Carolina.
It's Carolina, tells California.
Yep.
Somewhere greener, somewhere warmer.
That is exactly
Look it up.
Right. Look it up, kids. No, I do like North Carolina. I've been there many times in my life. I also like Tennessee, Florida. I could go with that. I've been to Arkansas a few times in my life, I should say, and from what I saw of it, it was really cool, the area I was in. So
Never been to Arkansas.
that might be a cool place to go. But good question, mommy. Gable Duke, not dude. Gable Duke.
Gable Dude.
He asked, in honor of March Madness, which is when we're recording that, it's getting started here in next week or so. What's your favorite mascot? And it can't be the cop-out answer, Big Al or Obby.
I like Western Kentucky's mascot, Big Red. I don't know why he exists. I don't know what he has to do with the mascot Hilltoppers, but he's unique and he's big and he's red, and I like him.
That's a great answer. I like that. I kind of like the Oregon Duck. Thinking about that,
He does a lot of push-ups.
Yeah, he does a lot.
If they're good, they weren't very good last year.
Right. That's true, but I like them. And then just I could say Wildcats, and you just cover everything. You could
Wildcat
be
and Tigers.
Yeah, you could be any team you wanted. But I had one in mind, and I'm trying to remember what it was now. Oh yeah, it was the Tulane Green Wave. I don't know if I've actually seen their mascot, but I can only imagine. Really?
It's just a big green wave.
That's disappointing. Thank you, Gable, for that question. Katie asks, you walk into a donut shop, what kind are you going to get?
Oh, easily just the regular glaze if it's warm.
Amen.
If it's not warm, it's taking a microwave for 8 seconds.
Oh, that was very specific.
8 seconds, that does it.
All right. Well, I didn't know that. Learn
Yeah.
something new every day. But mine would be the original glaze, too. The jelly donuts and chocolate donuts and stuff, that's fine and dandy, but it's just not a donut to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about the plain donuts. I love them.
Yeah.
I could eat a whole box of them.
I did not know that. I didn't know you were that passionate about
Dude,
them.
I love donuts.
Huh. Well, how about that? I didn't know. Pardon me.
Rashad Carswell got
Yeah.
me into donuts.
I remember he was a big donut guy. Matthew asks, Mountain Dew or Mellow Yellow? What you getting?
I don't know the difference really. I'm sorry. People are probably gonna flip out, but I don't drink a lot of soft drinks.
Right.
I'm not a health nut or anything. I just don't
Yeah.
drink that many. But
You're a sweet tea guy.
yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah, he is.
But I don't really know the difference, so I can't effectively answer that. I mean, I probably have drank more Mountain Dew in my life than Mellow Yellow.
I think that there is a little bit of a distinct taste. People say that there is, and just in my mind, I can kind of picture a little bit of a difference in taste. I think I favor Mountain Dew, but I couldn't. I might go Sundrop.
Oh.
If I'm being honest. You remember having Squirt? I think I brought you one when we
Yeah.
worked together.
Yeah.
That's what citrus drinks. That's what I go for. Squirt. I like Squirt. N_C Johnson on Twitter. That's Natalie Johnson. She asks, brownie or cookie? I would.
Yes.
Amen.
I can't decide on this one. Chocolate chip cookies might be my favorite dessert, but if you have like chocolate brownies, with chocolate brownies, chocolate chips,
Yeah.
and they're warm.
That's.
I'm a
pretty
dessert expert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would go cookie just because there's a lot of variety.
Yeah.
under the name Cookie. But under Brownie, they're pretty.
What about brownie
specific.
cookies? Do those exist?
I don't know, but we could try.
Yeah.
We could try right now. Justin sent me an email, and I thought it was noteworthy. He sent how a conspiracy theory, how I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory really, but just an interesting fact. Neil Armstrong, if you take the Neil and the first letter of his last name, A, and you spell it backwards, it spells alien. So
did he just literally, I have a piece of paper here, did he literally just send an email that says Neil Armstrong backwards spells alien?
No,
I could see him doing that.
That's a little bit of shorthand, so I would remember what it was about. It's a little bit more extensive than that, but there really wasn't. There wasn't much information. It was mainly that. It was basically like, I thought this was interesting. Here you go.
It's clearly means Neil Armstrong was or is an alien. Is he dead?
I think he is dead. Isn't he dead, Caleb?
Wouldn't know.
Wouldn't know, he said. Okay. All right. Well, I feel like I heard that he was dead, but maybe he's not. All right.
John Glenn died recently, but I don't know.
Well, actually, you know what? Thank you for that needless fact. All right. It is time for everyone's favorite segment.
The best advice in the world.
Thank you, Justin. And the topic today is, this was submitted by a fan. It says, I often arrive places late. What are some ways to help me be punctual? And I think that means on time and not any reference to punctuation.
Who knows?
Who knows? English.
It's not important to be punctual. Why are we even talking about this?
I agree. Personally, I love when people show up late.
Yes.
Makes me feel
like me today for the podcast.
Yeah. I loved every minute of that. I love I don't like people, so when they don't show up on time, it makes me feel bad.
What about showing up late for work? Who cares?
That's right.
Especially be late for dates, though.
Yeah. Well,
if they're willing to wait on you, they're the one for you.
That is exactly right. I could not have said it better myself, Garrett. You are a smart man. That's how you got a fiance, isn't it?
That's right. I was late for all the dates.
And she stuck around.
Actually, I was late sometimes, but it was like a minute.
Oh, a minute. I was late to my 2nd year anniversary date. What? Have I mentioned this story?
Why?
All right. Well, thank you for that submission, for the best advice in the world. All right. Well, that's our show for today. I hope that was interesting and insightful for you. We want to thank Katie for, all her help that she does on the show, especially with the music, and it's fantastic Katie. Music. So we want to thank you for that. You do a great job, and looking forward to the new music on the show that we hopefully have in the works. We record this before we release it. Obviously, sometimes it's longer before we release it than others. So it's possible that there's new music in this episode. It's also possible that there's not new music in this episode.
Who knows? We don't.
That's exactly right. Isn't that weird to think about? Because I'll go back and listen to this and I was like, yeah, at that point I didn't know if there would be new music in the episode. Tangent! Okay, we want to thank our friend Kevin for helping us record the song that plays every episode. We want to thank Justin and Steven for providing jokes. Why can't I talk?
Providing jokes.
We want to thank our team of hard, selfless workers for their expertise. Our head producer and editor, Caleb, who did a lot of great work for us last episode. So if you see him, make sure to thank him. Our head graphic designer, Corbin. Our assistant producer, Joshua, always ready to help, and we really appreciate him for that. And our voiceover artist, Justin. I personally also want to thank Garrett for joining us today. You do a great job, buddy. I love you being on the show with me. So
thanks, buddy.
You're welcome, buddy. I want to thank you, the listener, for joining us today. You give of your time and your attention, and we don't take that lightly, and we hope that you enjoy the... No, you don't.
No, okay.
I hope you enjoy the product that we try to produce for you. Let's remember that we are the light of the world. Remember that this week as we try to live upside down. I did it again.
Don't live upside down. No.
Upside up in an upside down world. What is wrong with me? All right, guys. Have a great week.
What's
Bye.
wrong with you?
Thanks for listening. Leave a comment on iTunes. Subscribe on YouTube. Like us on Facebook. And follow us on Twitter.
Hello? Is it me you're looking for?
I can
See it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. Tell me.
I don't know the next lyric. Sorry to disappoint you.
We're recording there.
Yes, it's okay.
I never saw the end in sight. Fools are kind of blind. Thought everything was going alright, but I was running out of time. 'Cause you had one foot out the door. But if you're really going away, you don't know the words, do you?
Not right off the top of my head.
Round of applause.
You know, you remember when that was cool? I don't. He's like, yeah, I can tolerate that kid. Not my favorite person I've ever
What do you
seen.
think he thinks about me?
I think he likes you a lot
Why?
because you're his age.
What does that have to do with anything? Amber's not my age. I like her.
Age is nothing.
We gotta hurry.
Answer.
It's my sister.
I know. Answer her.
No, I'll text her. This is my signature move.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good morning. Welcome to the Upside Up Podcast. My name is Jeremy, and I'm joined by the bearded baller himself. What's up?
You said good morning, good
I was
afternoon,
gonna
or
point
good
that
morning.
out. I was gonna
Oh,
point it
excuse
out.
me.
It's gonna go right into the. Yeah, it's okay.
My bad.
No worries.
I thought that I may have. Something didn't sound right.
Alright.
Things are going well today.
What's
Bye.
wrong with him? I don't think it's in there. I gotta go.
Bye, buddy. Thanks for joining us.